Shoulder dislocations, there are different types of shoulder dislocation. Either you can dislocate your shoulder in the front or in the back.
On the field, a shoulder dislocation has happened. What is the next move? What should we do about it?
Obviously, if it is out of position, it has to be put back into position.
Some athletes, they pop their shoulder and then they put it back in like it's nothing.
That's what we call a recurrent shoulder dislocation.
Vanakkam. Welcome to Wellness Pettagam. I'm Nivedha S. I'll be your host today. I'm a 3-time national kickboxing gold medalist and we'll be interviewing Dr. Senthil Kamalasekaran. It's a very common thing in combat sports because we have a lot of punches. When we throw punches, we're very prone to get our shoulder dislocated. So what kind of measures can we take to strengthen our shoulders and keep it from dislocation?
Okay, shoulder dislocations, there are different types of shoulder dislocations.
Okay.
Either you can dislocate your shoulder in the front or in the back. If the person has an epilepsy or epileptic fit, the shoulder dislocates back. It's called a posterior dislocation.
Okay.
Whereas in sports, the dislocation is mainly coming front.
Okay.
So in your shoulder, you have a lot of restraints. You have passive restraints and you have dynamic restraints. The dynamic stabilizers of the shoulder are mainly the muscles, which are the rotator cuff muscles.
Okay.
Apart from this muscular thing, you also have passive restraints. You have something around where the shoulder sits, the humeral head sits, is called the glenoid. Okay? So this glenoid is a very shallow thing. The reason it is very shallow is because humans, we have the shoulder joint as a very mobile structure.
So that we can move
that we can move it around. It's not like the hip. The hip is in a socket.
Yeah.
The glenoid is a very shallow structure. Because it's shallow, the chances of it moving out of position is very high. But God has done it in such a way that it does not dislocate. Because there is a restraint around that, which we call the labrum.
Okay.
So when this labrum is torn, then the chances of dislocation is much higher.
Okay.
So you should have good muscles, you should have a good normal socket, you should have a normal labrum, and apart from that, the capsule is very redundant and lax. So that allows us to move the shoulder everywhere.
Okay. So on the mat or on the field, a shoulder dislocation has happened. What is the next move? What should we do about it?
Obviously, if it is out of position, it has to be put back into position. So firstly, what we have to do is it has to be done under sedation or in an emergency setup. Actually start trying to reduce your shoulder without knowing whether you have actually fractured it.
Okay.
Because sometimes you have a dislocation, you can have a fracture dislocation. So we don't want someone to start reducing your shoulder without evaluating and making sure that there is no fracture.
Okay.
So that's why we need to be assessed first, take an X-ray, and then under sedation, we normally use certain maneuvers to relocate your dislocated shoulder back into position.
Okay.
And after that, we normally allow them at least 3 to 4 weeks for it to stiffen up, and then after that, we start rehabbing it.
Okay. But I've seen some athletes, they pop their shoulder and then they put it back in like it's nothing. So what is that about?
That's what we call a recurrent shoulder dislocation. So he's been having, his ligaments are so lax. Some people have a tendency or they have very lax ligaments.
Okay.
Especially if you see the gymnasts, they can twist their body in different ways.
Yeah.
So they have a hyperlaxity syndrome.
Okay.
So people who are having a hyperlax syndrome, they can actually dislocate their shoulder and put it back in.
Shoulder dislocations and ACL is like the most common, but nobody ever talks about elbow dislocations. How common is actually an elbow dislocation in the field of sports and in everyday life?
Elbow dislocations do happen. It can happen because of trauma, if you have an accident, sometimes because of landing on your thing. Fall on an outstretched hand is a very common method. Okay. And you can always, the elbow can actually pop out.
Okay.
So when it pops out, it is a grave injury because the elbow restraints are very strong.
Okay.
And when it dislocates, you can actually have a fracture of the structures around the thing, because you can have a fracture of the ulnar bone here. You can have a fracture of the radial head over here. You can have a fracture of the neck, radial neck. All different parts of the elbow joint can be broken along with the dislocation.
Okay.
So we obviously, if it is just a dislocation, like with the shoulders, we reduce it under anesthesia and we put them in a support like a sling or a plaster and keep it for 2 to 3 weeks, and then we start them on movements. The only thing with shoulder and elbow dislocations is they go for stiffness very fast. So we need to start getting them earlier movements, otherwise they'll land up very stiff.
Okay. So I guess we're done for the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.